All right, Rabbi said today we're going to speak about, being that we are in the time of Sfira. The last year we spoke about Reb Meir Balanes. Today we're going to speak about Reb Shimon ben Yochai. The comparison or the friendship between the two. Anybody know? Reb Meir Balanes and Reb Shimon ben Yochai both were. Jonathan, you can sit down. They were both students of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva left after the terrible tragedy of the 24,000 students that were killed, 5 giants. Amongst the 5 giants were Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. And both of them have special dates in the days of Sfira. Yud Daled Nisan, Yud Daled Iyar, Pesach Sheni, we gave a share about Reb Meir Balanes. Lag Ba'omer, Yud Ches Iyar, Chai Iyar, is the yard site of Reb Shimon ben Yochai. Incidentally, just an interesting piece of information, in one of the sichos of the Rebbe, on a footnote, the Rebbe says the common date is Lag Ba'omer. That's what you always hear, the 33rd day in Omer. The Rebbe says we have to figure out why is it Lag Ba'omer when in Sfira Omer, in the mitzvah where we count, we always say La Omer. Today is this and this day, La Omer. The Rebbe says v'tzarachiyun where it became ba'omer. Just an interesting footnote. So today we're going to spend some time discussing the history and perhaps 1 or 2 stories in the Gemara about this giant Reb Shimon ben Yochai, and his uniqueness. He was unique in some great things. So here on the board I have 3 things. His name on the top, and I underlined Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, and Irving I see already singing Bar Yochai, right? Which also needs explanation. Why, when they sing the song, they don't give him his title, Reb Shimon? They say Bar Yochai, the son of Yochai. Why don't they give him by his name? Why the son of Yochai? And second of all, out of all the Tanoim and Moraim, why this one we use the word Bar, an Aramaic word? Why not Ben? Reb Shimon ben Yochai. It's very not common. Most of the Mishnahs and the Gemara, we usually use the word Ben. So towards the end of this year, I think I could give you a shtickle explanation why we are going to use the word specifically Bar by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. But today's shir is mostly about this Torah giant, the Tana, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Shimon the son of Yochai. There is 2 statements that the Gemara makes about Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. There's a Gemara in Sukkah in page Mem Daled, where it says, Ra'isi b'nei aliyah, v'hein mu'atim. I see this special people, and they're very few. Im shnayim heim, if there are even 2. This is what Rabbi Shimon says. Heim ani u'b'nai mehem. It's me and my son Rabbi Lazar. In other words, the b'nei aliyah, these special people, the people that from a different league, is Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai and his son Rabbi Lazar. They're from a different league, so they are called the b'nei aliyah. So we see they're not just a regular tzaddikim. The Gemara in Ksubis, for example, says Rab Shimon bar Yochai was such a tzaddik that b'yamav, during his whole lifespan, lo'inira sakeshes, a rainbow. During his whole lifetime, there was never a rainbow in the sky. Hashem promises that he has to make that after the Mabul, after the time of the Mabul, the Yidden were afraid, if God forbids we step out of line, Hashem will, God forbid, perform a Mabul again. So Hashem tells us, don't worry, here is my sign, I'll never do it, by showing a rainbow. We need a rainbow because we are always on the verge of Yetzer Hara seducing us, God forbid, to do something wrong. But if there is a tzaddik, the tzaddik protects us. And we don't need to have a rainbow as a guarantee. So in the years of Rab Shimon ben Yochai, there was no need of a rainbow. B'yom of lo nira sakeshes. So we know that during his life, it was a different time. So we're talking about, and what's most famous at Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai is we're going to get to, which comes out to halacha. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai is classified as toirasoi umnasoi. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai didn't sell carpets. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai didn't sell furniture. Didn't do cameras. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai lived, breathed oxygen Torah. Now he couldn't understand how people even went out to field to. He was just from, if I could use our language, he was from a different planet. Torah soy umnasi. Torah was his work, was his job. Now we can't relate to this. He was from a different planet. And halachically, for people who do that, there's a whole different set of laws. We are not that way. We are not that makeup. Halacha discusses it. Okay, but that's why it is definitely a day of celebration, tzaddik like that. And also, Reb Shimon ben Yochai is very, very famous for. It's mekubal. I can't say that it's written and in the front page of the book. Later on we found the manuscripts of the Zohar. The Zohar is the foundation of the Kabbalah, and it became accepted that the author of the Kabbalah, the author of the Zohar, is Reb Shimon ben Yochai. And there's different reasons, different proofs to it. Reb Shimon ben Yochai, Svarim say, had a nitzutz, had a spark of Moshe Rabbeinu in him. And there are different proofs that Svarim bring to prove that. So as I began this year by saying, we're talking about not only a regular tzaddik, we're talking about a tzaddik that's completely from a different planet. All right, let's focus, at least, we only have a short time. You know, we don't want to act like Reb Shimon ben Yochai and sit here for 24 hours a day, right? That's not who we are. Correct, Koresh?
No.
No. That's not even what's expected from us. It's not expected.
Well, that's the different thing, but we can stay 24 hours.
Yeah. So let me tell you where we're going to learn. For those who are looking at the page, we're going to start here. Amai Kaderlu on the right side, page 36. 1, 2, 3, 5 lines from the bottom of the page. There's a dot on the insert. Right there. V'amai Kaderlu. Right? You got it? Everybody got it? The Gemara talks about, until there, the Gemara talks about different things that took place. And the Gemara right there speaks about Rabbi Yehuda. And the Gemara is going to ask, what caused Rabbi Yehuda to be titled the Rosh HaMedabrim? What is Rosh HaMedabrim? That amongst the community, amongst the Jews, he was called the Rosh HaMedabrim, means the head speaker, the spokesman. That anytime he walked into the community, to the crowd, he was the first to speak. He got the honor to represent. Who made him the spokesman? He was called the Rosh HaMedabrim. That's where the Gemara. That's where the story, our story, begins. This leads into the famous story of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Okay, Frek the Gemara. V'amai Kaderle Rosh HaMedabrim b'chol makom. Why was Rabbi Yehuda called the spokesman, the first to speak? Who gave him that job? Who gave him that title? So the Gemara goes on to say like this: it's all happened because of a story. Because it once happened, the Yasvi Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yosi, Rabbi Shimon, once these 3 Torah giants, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yosi, Rabbi Shimon. Now Rabbi Shimon here is Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. They were sitting together, and another fourth person was sitting there too. Who is the fourth person? V'Yasiv Yehuda ben Gerim. Yehuda, the son of converts, was sitting there too. They were having a conversation, and they were Gabayu, Pasach Rabbi Yehuda, and this is after the Churban. This is the time after the destruction of the temple. Okay, the Jews were in exile, but they were still living in Eretz Yisrael, different places. And Rabbi Yehuda says, Pasach Rabbi Yehuda was talking, and he says, you know what? It's not that bad. He doesn't chas v'sholmos. Rabbi Yehuda just saying, Kama noim ma'aseim shel umazu. You know, these Romans are not doing bad things. They're really being nice. Taknu shvakim. They've made nice marketplaces. Look at the mall. Beautiful mall. Taknu gisharim. They made some nice bridges. Did you see the nice bridge they built? Whoa. Taknu merchatzois. Look at that nice new bathhouse they built. Okay. Of course, that's a bad thing to say. No. They're being menschlich. This is Rabbi Yehuda says this. Now remember, pay attention. This is the Rabbi Yehuda that eventually he became the spokesman. That Gemara is asking what made him become spokesman. So this is the story this is what he said amongst his friends. Rabbi Yossi, Shasak. Rabbi Yossi heard the conversation, another Torah giant. All right, he heard the conversation. He was quiet. Rab Shimon ben Yochai. Rab Shimon ben Yochai stands up and says, V'amar. You're telling me the Romans are nice people? Kol ma shetaknu, lo taknu ela l'tzayra chatzman. Don't tell me they're nice people. Whatever they did, it's all for themselves. Taknu shvakim, they made a marketplace. You think they're here to help you? They want to put prostitutes there. It's a business. Merchatzois, they made bathhouse. But you think that they're just the bathhouse? It's a reason. La'adim bahem atzman. They want to have pleasure themselves. It's all about themselves. Gisharim, they built bridges. Lita mehel mechas, money, tax, tolls.
Oh, wow. Then you told
They had told. It's all about money. The jengi. Wow. See, I want to tell you something. This is Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai goes boom straight. Why do I want to prove this point? I said in the beginning, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai seems to be from a different planet. When I see, there's a lot of when you learn a lot of Gemara, you find that there is a way of interpreting arguments that lishitase. Lishitase means, you know why these two opinions argue? Because he has his way of thinking in many different halachas, and he has his way of. This is how he looks at items, and because he looks at an item this way, this is the type of glasses that's why his outcome is this. So Rabbi Shimon I'll give you an example. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, for example, says, "Davar she'ena miskaven is pater." Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai said that if you do something on Shabbos and it was an accident, it's pater. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai said, "Darish time of the krah." Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai says that when the Torah says you should do something or you should not do something, don't just accept it as it is. Read what the Torah wants. Why should it be done? And why should it not be done? And when the Torah wanted it to be done, that's when when it has to be done. And exclude not. For example, it says you have to give a loan. You have to give a loan. You should try to give a loan. Who should you give a loan to? To the poor people. There is no mitzvah to give a loan to a rich man. The poor people need loans. People who need loans, you give loan to. people who don't need loans, rich men, just to have another investment, Rabbi Shimon says, I don't know if there's a mitzvah to give a loan. Because Rabbi Shimon digs deeper into what the Torah says. Darish time of the Kra. Rabbi Shimon says, everything that you do has to have not only the action, has to have the kavanah. In davar she'ena miskavein, things that you do unintentional, you're not responsible. I'll give you some beautiful examples. I find that Rabbi Shimon's principles, he has one mahalach that answers all these problems. The same is over here. Davar hadgareim l'mamain k'mamain. Rabbi Shimon Yochai says in Baba Kama, anything that could make money is as if it's money already. Rabbi Shimon says, anything which will be worth something later on, potentially, is already worth something now. Rabbi Shimon sees things much deeper than as is. So, me and you, wow, there's a bathhouse. There's a nice looking bridge. Rabbi Shimon says, bridge, schmidge, it's money. It's schmutz. He sees it much deeper. All right, that's just an insight. It's the same. It's the same mahalach in his whole way of thinking in halacha. All right, so what happens because of this? Halach Yehuda ben Gerim. Yehuda ben Gerim wasn't a bad person. Yehuda ben Gerim was Yehuda, the son of converts. V'sipar divrayim. He went home. There's a big machlokes here. He didn't intentionally go to tattletale. If he intentionally tattletale, that would have been a terrible thing. He went home and told his wife. Maybe he should have not, He went out, you know what happened in shul today? We had a conversation. Rabbi Yehuda said this. Rabbi Yossi was quiet. Rabbi Shimon Yochai said no. And somehow it got to the government. And it got to the government. What did the government do? Moshe, what did the government do? Amru, so the government got to the bottom of this. They said, Yehuda who praised the government, they said, wow, what? Yehuda She'ila, Yehuda that praised the government, Yisala, we're gonna give him a position. What position would they give him? Koresh? Now you're the spokesman. Now you are the Roshim B'dabrim. Now we know how he became the Roshim B'dabrim. Yosi Shesasak. Yosi, you're quiet. You can't add some praise and say, hey. You got a little tzipari. You go to exile. Go to tzipari. Shimon Shagina. Reb Shimon Yochai, you embarrassed? You made fun of the Romans? Yehareg. You have to be executed. You have to be killed. Here's where all the fun and games starts. Last week we were talking about mayors. Executions. Last week, Rabbi Meir was running away from them. This week, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai is running away from them. Because now they want to kill Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai because he made fun of them for saying that all they do is for themselves. So Rabbi Shimon is on the run. So where's the first place he runs away to? Azel, he goes, Hu Ibrei, him and his son. Tashu be Medrasha. They went to yeshiva. Incidentally, I want to tell you a beautiful insight, a very beautiful insight. Many people have a question, and this is the only good explanation I find. What is it that on Lag BaOmer we make such an emphasis on upshernish? Everybody, you go to Miron, everybody's dancing with the little kindlach upshernish up. What's the emphasis to the kids, the Lag BaOmer? So the most beautiful explanation, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai was now given a punishment. He's on the run. What's he taking his son Rabbi Elazar with him? Run away. What's he taking his son? His son is free. Shimon bar Yochai says, if I run away, who's going to educate my son? Who's going to educate my son? I can't leave my son alone here. He took his son b'mesiras nefesh wherever he went. That's why we celebrate our children Lag BaOmer, to show what true education is.
How old was his son?
I don't know. I don't know how old. I really don't know. But that's it. We celebrate Lag BaOmer with our children to teach us how we are supposed to do chinuch. Ad mesiras nefesh. The kid didn't play soccer. Takes him. Wait. First, he takes him to the shul. It got a little better. Takes him to the shul. Kol yoyma have a ma'aseh devisu lifter. Every day, his wife brought him some bread, v'kuzo demaya, and a little water, the karchi. And that's how they survived. That's how they ate. Ki takav gezerta, when the gezerah became stronger and stronger, when they realized that they're getting closer, it's getting amalei lebrei, he says to his son, Rebbe Lazar, now he couldn't discuss this with his wife. You'll soon see why he couldn't discuss this with his wife. He's discussing with his son. He says to his son, we're in trouble. They're getting closer to us, and we have a problem. What's the problem? We know that Chazal say, Noshim daiton kalo aleihem. We know that women, if you push them very hard, they might spill the beans, right? And we discussed this in last week's shir. And Dilma, we are afraid, mitzari lo. In today's terminology, maybe, God forbid, the Romans will waterboard our mother, our wife. Hey, Moshe, waterboarding, yeah? You don't allow it, but they must have been Republicans. Dilma mitzarela. And umegalilon. And then the mommy will tell the Romans where we are. We're in the shul. They'll give her tsar. They'll give her Rahman al-San Yisurim, and she'll tell us they're in the shul. Ozlu, they have no. That's why they couldn't tell mommy. That's why they couldn't tell mommy the next plan. Ozlu, they went. Tashu b'marasa, they ran into a cave. This is why we know about the story of the cave. They ran into a cave. Now this is also crazy mesiras nefesh. I have a lot of issues with this story. You ran into a cave. What were you thinking? How are you going to survive? What was he thinking? Where's your food? Where's your... Nothing. He went into a cave. He goes... Israchish nissa. A mess happens. A miracle happens. Ibra luhu charuva, a buxer tree, a carob tree was created there. Ve'ena demaya, and a well of water. So that's where he survived, from carob tree, carob, and Marsha says, out of all trees, carob, because as you know as an expert, carob out of all things is the longest thing to grow, and that's the Eibishter made chick-chock. Chick-chock, it grew, and water, and that's what they survived. Incidentally, it's funny that he says this, because Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai is the one that asks, in another Gemara, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai is the one that asks the question, why did the Eibishter make that the man fell every day? So Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai asked the question. Why didn't the Eibishter make that the man should fall once a year? The Eibishter should make the man should fall once a year. We come with a basket, maybe even a small basket, once a year, and it should be enough to make us full for a whole year. Why did he want us to come and collect every day? Good question. It's not only because he wants a brach every day. So this is a Gemara, and he says like this. He brings up Em shalachem mashal. I'll tell you a mashal, a parable. Lama davar daima. It's a story. Lemelech basav adam. Let's say a regular king. He had a son, a prince, and he said, you know what? How much you need to survive a year? You're a spoiled brat, yeah? You need $1 million a year. Here's your $1 million check. January 1st, here's your $1 million check. So when did the kid show up? January 1st, the one time a year, the kid showed up. And that's when, one time a year, he showed up to see Tati. So the king says, I'm not giving you the check once a year. If you're only going to show up once a year, I'm going to give you a check every single day. So too, Hashem says, I want to see you more often. I don't want to see you once a year. So this is Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai is the one that got a Eina de Maya and a tree parked right in front of it. It's funny. Maybe he learned to appreciate it. And that's why he said that. I just thought about that. Maybe he learned to appreciate it, so he was the one to say this because he had it. All right. Weiter. Let's learn his routine. Oh, you're sitting in a cave. Ooh, it's exciting in the cave, yeah? What's he doing in a cave every day? Kol Yoima, every day. Oh, no, they would take off their clothes. No, they didn't know how long they're going to be there. Their clothes could get rotten, get ruined, right? Get moldy. So they had to think ahead. So every day, they would take off their clothes. They can't walk around naked. So what they would do, they would sit in the sand till the neck in sand. And a whole day would sit in the sand till the neck and learn. When it was time to daven, they would come out, love shoe, they would dress themselves, michse, cover, umatzla, and daven. And when they would finish daven, v'hadar mishlachim enayu, only for davening they would get dressed. Ki heichi delay liblu. So the clothes should not get moldy, the clothes should not get worn out. Normal life, huh? Isvu teisa shani b'maras. Like this, they lasted for 12 years in a cave. What kind of diet, huh? A diet like this. Boxer, carib, and water. 12 years. Asa Eliyahu now become a pischa de marasa. He stood at the door of the cave. Now, when I taught this to the boys yesterday, I told them, this is also a lesson. There's a lesson that says when the Eibishter comes to Adam Arishan and it tells him Ayeka in Parshas Bereshis, it says the Eibishter came to Gan Eden. He didn't come crashing in. He stood by the door. Limduch Torah derech eretz, you can't barge into a house. You have to go in slowly. Over here it says Eliyahu didn't. Hey, come up pischa. Stands outside, and he says, Amar man ludei lebar Yochai. Who should tell Bar Yochai the miscaser that the king died already? Ubatul gezerte, and the decree is null. It's done. You're free to go. Oh wow, nafku. They came out. Whoa. Chazu. They saw inchi the harvi v'zari. They come out of the cave. And they see people sowing, planting, plowing. Sowing? Planting? Plowing? Omar, they say to themselves, Manichim chaye oilam, v'oiskim b'chaye shah. They're not doing permanent things, connecting to Hashem, dealing with simple things, plowing, temporary things. You're here temporary. Planting on the field, burning bushes. What are you doing over there? Grand, Chayesha. Listen to how holy they were. I rub it into him. Kol Mokim Shenoisne my name. They were so holy. Wherever they looked, Miyad Nisraf. Whatever they gazed, the thing blew up. It burnt. Yotzis Abaska, a heavenly voice, came out and said, Amalehem says to them, hey, mister, and tell me you came out of the cave to destroy our world. This is a world how the Eibishter created it. Go back to your cave. Go back. You're not The way you are, what you're doing, you're harming the world. Get back into your cave. Hadar Azul, they went back into the cave. Isvu Tresa Yarchishata, 12 more months. 12 more months they sat in the cave. Amri, they said to themselves, Mishpat Rishoyim B'Gehenim Yid Beis Chodesh. They made themselves a cheshbon, a calculation. They said, a Russia, after the soul parts, after living here in this world for all his life, has to go through a cleansing process. You know, you say Kaddish for 11 months. Why for 11 months? Because the soul has to go through a cleansing process. So a Russia needs to go through 12 months. We don't believe anybody is a Russia. But even the biggest tzaddik has to go through some process for 11 months. So we stop at 11 months. So they said, even God forbid, the world was the worst status, and the world was 12 months, had to go through a cleaning. We're here 12 months. It went through its cleaning. Now we could come out. Yatzusa Baskel came out, V'amra, and it said, She'u mimaraschem, now you could come out. Nafku, they came out. Kol heichadav v'mochi Rabbi Lazar, anywhere Rabbi Lazar, remember Rabbi Lazar is the son. Anywhere Rabbi Lazar looked and damaged, have a masi Rab Shimon. Rab Shimon would look and heal. So Rabbi Lazar was still on the offense. Rabbi Shimon was on the defense. Amaloi, Rab Shimon says to his son, B'ni, my son, take it easy. Dai la'olam ani v'ata. It's enough to the world, me and you, to be this way. It's enough. We don't need any more like us two. Us two to be tairasai and manasai. At that level, not too many more could be that way. So don't do this anymore. See what we're talking about? Dai la'olam ani v'ata. So us two are enough. Now we have a happy part of the story. It was getting close, Friday afternoon. Chada Husaba, he saw an elderly person. He saw an elderly person that have a nugget today, Medane Asa. He saw an elderly person that was holding 2 bundles of myrtle. V'rohit, and he was running Bein Hashmashis. He was running in late afternoon, Friday afternoon. Amrulei, so Rabbi Lazar and Rabbi Shimon tell this elder man, Hani la malach, what are these? What are you carrying? What's going on? Amalahu, so the person says, hey, look, right Shabbos. Friday afternoon, we're carrying these myrtles, the hadassim, for Shabbos. Very nice. But v'tiskilach b'chad, what do you need 2? Why not 1? So what do you need 1? Chad keneged zocher, v'chad keneged shomer. It says zocher shema Shabbos yikacha, remember to keep Shabbos, and it says shomer keneged. So 1 is for what Hashem in the Seres Adibros. Each time it's mentioned the mitzvah of Shabbos, it says in a different way. So to honor it, we use 2 bundles of myrtle. Wow. Amalei Lebrei. So Rabbi Shimon says to his son, wow, look how special the Jews are. Chazi kama chavivim mitzvahs al Yisrael. Look how nice, look how special the Jews are. Look how they honor the mitzvahs. Yosef datayu. They calm down. The people down here in this world are special. They're not just Shama Rab Pinchas ben Yor Chasnei. So Rab Pinchas ben Yor, the son-in-law of Rab Shimon ben Yochai, heard, hey, my father-in-law is out. He's out. His Rab Shimon ben Yochai is his father-in-law. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai is the father. No, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai's daughter is married to Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair. Yeah. Eventually, Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair, the son-in-law of Rabbi Shimon, heard. Yes, Shnei Shetot. Malay Roim. The Malay Roim Omer. The Zohar indicates that Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair was actually Rabbi Shimon's father-in-law. What? Shamer Lahepach. Hazor Katuv. Okay, let's go further. So anyway, where are we up to? So he heard his father-in-law. His father-in-law is out. He heard his father-in-law is out. He wants to see his father-in-law. V'nafek la'apei. He went out to see him. Ayle lebnei. So he went to the bathhouse. It's a good place to see him. Yeah, he went to the. Why he couldn't find any other place? Maybe take him to the restaurant. But he went to the bathhouse. Have a ka'orich lebisrei, and he saw he was massaging his flesh. You can imagine that a man sitting in a cave in the sand for 12, 13 years. Oh, you vey. Have chazi to have a bepili bigofi. He saw how there was pasha cracks in Reb Shimon's flesh from sitting in. Have a kabachi, and he was crying. He was pasha crying, seeing this, how painful it was. He was crying. V'kanasru demois eine, and he began to cry, and tears. He was tearing. V'kanasru demois eine, v'kambetzavchalei, and it fell on the cracks of Reb Shimon's body. Amalei, he says, "Oili sherisicha bekach." Oh yeah, I feel so bad. I saw you in this with all your pain. Amalei, so Rabbi Shimon said, "You feel bad for seeing me this way? Ashrecha sherisicha bekach. Great is that you saw me this way. Baruch Hashem, we managed to meet again. So you know how much I achieved over those 13 years. She'umalei loirisani bekach. If not for the fact that we managed to meet." Because before I went into the cave, when Reb Shimon ben Yochai would kushya, then Reb Shimon ben Yochai would ask a question. Have him a father, Reb Pinchas ben Yair, today's siparuke. And Reb Shimon ben Yochai would ask a question. He wasn't sure what the halacha should be, and have a discussion. So Reb Pinchas ben Yair would respond 12 answers. That's how it was before he went into the cave. Lebesoif, after coming out of the cave, when Pinchas ben Yair asked a question, Reb Shimon ben Yochai answered him 24 answers. So you see how he came out much stronger after the cave. All right. Omar, Reb Shimon ben Yochai says, it's a time to move, a time to act. Hayil v'yisrachish nisa. Since Hashem did a mess with me, I have to pay back. I have to iskin milsa. I got to fix something up. And this is what I want to say. I saw a vort about bar. The other place where we use the word bar is by bar mitzvah. The same question is asked about bar mitzvah. Why, when a person gets bar mitzvah, we don't say ben mitzvah? Ben mitzvah. At 13, he becomes a ben mitzvah. Why a bar mitzvah? So over there, the Chedushei Arim says that a ben mitzvah means a person does mitzvahs. Okay, that's nice. There's something unique about a bar mitzvah. What's unique about a bar mitzvah that when a person turns 13, not only he's for himself, that a 13-year-old could be a chazan, a 13-year-old can make kiddush, A 13-year-old could read the Torah, that he's not only for himself anymore, he could do a mitzvah and have other people in mind, help others. That's what bar means. Bar in Aramaic means outside, for others. That's what bar. So the Lev Simcha, Rebbe and Ger says, you know what was special, unique about Reb Shimon? Reb Shimon was light. Reb Shimon bar Yochai, he was for others. That's what I saw. When I read that, I connected it to the next piece of Gemara. Reb Shimon ben Yochai came along. He said, "And this happened. What could I fix?" And he's going to try to fix something. How many people come and say, besides Irving and you and Kurish, what could I do? And Jonathan, these are bar people. These are bar people. What could I do? Is bar. You understand what I'm saying? I have another bar. Well, put in another dime in this.
I thought that bar is related.
Bar means.
You said about 13. I thought that it also goes to what Rabbi Shimon went 13 years in the.
Bar is not 13.
No, but you were saying that 13 is where you become.
Bar mitzvah.
Bar mitzvah. I thought that's what is.
Oh no. I'll finish up. Remind me later. I'll tell you something about stuff. Everything is coincidence. Let's go weiter. So he wants to fix something. What could I do to help people? Bar. What could I do to help? I'm skipping over 2-3 lines. Amar, ikam bilsa de boy litikone. So he asks around, is there anything I could do? Is there anything that has to be fixed? He said, yeah. There is a big problem going on. Amar, they said to him, ika duchta, there is a place, there is a suffix tuma. There's something that's bothering people here in this community. There is a specific area in this land that we're not sure if it's tamei or not, and because we're not sure if it's tamei or not, it's a land, and it could be there's mason buried there. It could be that years ago there was somebody buried there, because it could be isve islahu tzaira lakainim lakufei. The kainim, if there's something buried there, kainim can't walk there, and it becomes difficult. Kainim don't know. If they know, they would figure it out. But if they don't know, we want to know: is there something? Is it a cemetery or not? Could you help us out? It's the biggest problem, Kurdish here. Amar. So he says, that's the problem. Ika inish. The other, the ischazik hachatayra. Is there anybody here who knows anything about this place that they could prove anything, that there was some form of tara, something? Give me something to start with. Tara means that to prove that there is pure, this place is clean. Amalei hahu saba. So a certain elderly person tells to him, I remember something. Kan kitzitz ben zakeh turmese truma. Ben Zakkai was a Tana. Ben Zakkai, I remember that in this very, very exact place, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai used to cut certain things that grew from Truma, for Truma. If it grew for Truma, now obviously, it was Kash, obviously it's tar. It's not Truma there. Avad iu nami hachi. So Rab Shimon did the same thing. Kol heicha dehava tari. Everywhere where the ground was hard, he made tare. He made a sign that this is tar. The chol heicha dehave rafye. Wherever the ground was soft, tzaine. He put a sign, he put a tzion, a marker. He said, this part is tamei. Amalei, so they said to Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Ilmalei lo hayisa imanu. They said to Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, if not, Amalei, Ilmalei lo hayisa imanu. One second. Did I skip something? Oh, I did say something. Amar Ahu Saba. I skipped the line. Amar Ahu Saba. This elderly person said, later some elderly person said, Tiher ben Yochai beisakvaris. You know, you could be the most righteous person. There's always some smart aleck going to come and make fun of you. This giant, this man, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, was in a cave for 13 years, burning people with his eyes, yeah? And now he's finally cleaning up a mess here, and he's showing where it's tar, where it's tameh, and some elderly person comes along and says, this ben Yochai was mitar a beis hakvaris. He made a cemetery pure. He's making fun of him. Amalei. So Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai said to him, Ilmalei lo yayisa imanu. If you are not with us, va'afilu hayisa imanu, v'lo nimnas imanu, yafa ata emer. Let me just read what it says there. Had you not been with us, or even had you been with us, but had not been counted amongst us, then what you said would be fine. But achshav shayisa amanu. But now that you were with us, v'nimnesa amanu, and you were counted with us, yaimru, people hearing this might say, zoynais mefarksoi zu azu. They're going to say that Rahman al-Atzlan, Zaynas, prostitutes, are helping each other. Talmidei Chachamim like Kol Shekain. If Zaynas, Rahman al-Atzlan, help each other, shouldn't Talmidei Chachamim not help each other? In other words, he's Yoiv be'enas. Shimon ben Yochai was very upset with him. Shimon ben Yochai placed his eyes on him. V'nach nafshei. And this person, for starting up with Shimon ben Yochai, perished. But what was that example what he gave him? The example what he gave him was to show, even though a Zayna hates her competitor, she will still extend her a favor to braid her hair. For it's actually her own self-interest that her competitor appears beautiful. Yeah? Rabbi Shimon's point was that the elder who condemned his actions violated even the most basic rule of courtesy. People would view his condemnation of Rabbi Shimon as a public bickering between two scholars. You understand? Moshe. A Sabbath, even if you're a Talmud Chacham, never make fun of another Talmud Chacham. If even Zaynis, it's a tremendous lesson. If even Zaynis help each other out when they're in competition, Talmidei Chachamim, lahavdil, should for sure acknowledge the other one. You hear that? Oh, wow. So this... So Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai just gazed on him and made him into mincemeat. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. You said that in the wrong time. You're supposed to... That was the wrong time. Nafek l'shuka. He's on the roll now. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai is on the roll. He just cleaned up a mess, and he just cleaned up another mess. Yeah, he cleaned up a mess, and he cleaned up another mess. He walks out to the marketplace, and guess who he sees? Guess who he sees? This is 13 years later, right?
His wife.
No, his wife. It wouldn't be so bad. Who does he see? Yehuda ben Gerim. Who's Yehuda ben Gerim?
Oh, the one that
just came home. The one that came home just said the story that blah 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 blah. It got to the government, and because of him, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai ended up in the cave. Amar, Moshe, get ready. Hold on. Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai gives a look at him and says, "What? Adayin yesh lazeh ba'olam? This guy is still around?
Oh my God.
This guy is still around? Nasan ba'einav." He gives a look at him. V'aso gal shalat sames. He made him into a heap of bones. Is everybody running to Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai now?
Wow.
Are you running? This is Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. This is Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. Wow, this guy's still around? He was shocked. What was he shocked? This is Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. You don't what do you see from all these stories? Mordechai, you're a deep guy here. What do you see? What's the punchline from these stories? You don't mess with fire? You don't pour gasoline on fire.
Rabbi, what happened?
One thing, what do you see from all these stories? What's the common denominator in all these stories?
Okay.
You heard it?
What did he say?
Don't tell your wife any stories. This is not common. No, burning people, gal shalat sames, a heap of bones. This sounds like a comic book story. But it's just a different planet of holiness. This Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai is just a different planet of holiness. And Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, at the same time, I want to tell you, he was very, very down to earth. Very down to earth. And this is what I want to finish off. Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai is the one that says, Noyach leila adam sheyapul atzmai lekivshon eish ve'al yalbim pnei chaveri barabim. You jump into a furnace of fire, don't let yourself embarrass somebody in public. You go to the fire before embarrassing somebody in public. Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai said, when somebody is angry, never try to appease somebody when he's angry. It's never going to work. Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai said, to fool somebody in words is worse than fooling somebody in money. He was very, this same great Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, you see opposites. This aloof Tairasei Amnasai, Zoyar, Kabbalah, and yet very, very down to earth. Its truth is, it's not opposites. It's because he's so high, he is so low. Only the high goes low. Kol hagavoya gavoya ba yoser, yoyer demata mata yoser. Anyways, we should be a little like him. Don't burn anybody, but we should be like him. All right?
So Rabbi,
Yeah.
humility is the key word.
Sure.
Huh?
Sure.
Uh,
What's that? Next week, I think, is the last. Next week we'll do Rabbi Akiva, but next week we'll do by night because Rabbi Bender will be this time.